great people and fans, and particularly my returning subscribers. It's another beautiful day and one in which we should be thankful to be alive. Always remember to watch, like, share, comment, and for those of you who haven't done it so yet, please do subscribe. If you enjoy my content, there's no reason why you should not, because that way you get to see more of what I have to offer. So, I might sound cheery, but what I have to talk about today is somewhat, it's downright disheartening. It is the story of a young man who checked into a hotel and got murdered. I had been seeing the story, but because it's not ordinarily the kind of content I work with, I was going to let it go, but then it speaks a lot to personal security and the reasons why at all points we need to make sure that we touch base with at least one person that we trust. In this case, this young man was smart enough to continue touching base with his wife until she lost contact with him, and that sent up a red flag, at which point she was able to alert the authorities and, steps were taken. Unfortunately, he was already dead. So I received this WhatsApp message pertaining to the story, forwarded many times, but I figured if people are so concerned about this story that there's actually WhatsApp messages going round about it, it's something that I should talk about and share my views. So I'll just go ahead and read the WhatsApp message as it was sent to me. Of course, I was able to verify that it's not just stories. I've confirmed, I checked, I did my own online checks and was able to verify that most of what is in the WhatsApp message going around has been authenticated. So it reads, some of us may be aware of the recent happening of one Timothy Adegoke Oludare, a chartered accountant and director of finance in one multinational company in Abuja, who traveled to Ile-Ife to write his master's degree, but was murdered in his hotel room where he lodged. Reports indicate that Timothy came into Ife from Abuja on Friday the 5th to write his exam on the 6th and 7th and to go back on Sunday evening or Monday. As his usual coming on weekend for his master's program, he usually lodged at a hotel named Hilton and Resort Hotel in Ife, one of the prominent hotels in town, only to be declared missing by his wife and family when they could not reach him for 2 days. In the process of searching for him, the anti-kidnapping team of Osogbo established that he lodged in Hilton. Let's not call it Hilton Hotel. I mean, the Hilton is a very prominent chain of hotels, international. So let's be clear, it is not Hilton Hotel, as you know, Hilton Hotel. This one, they're calling themselves Hilton Resort Hotel. There's a difference. So, in the process of searching for him by the anti-kidnapping team of Osogbo, it was established that he lodged in the Hilton Resort Hotel, and the hotel management murdered him at midnight, with evidence showed his body was wrapped with hotel blankets and bed sheets and buried at the upper side of the hotel in Ife, the dustbin arena, after some parts from his chest was removed. How did the police investigation know this? Well, apparently they demanded for his national ID card from his family, but his wife was able to provide the earlier hotel receipt of the Hilton Resort where he used to lodge whenever he came for his weekend program. They visited the hotel, but the lady receptionist denied admitting the young man into the hotel. But a transfer payment was traced to her account that Timothy paid for 2 nights in the hotel, and a receipt was issued to him. The manifest and receipt of the hotel was doctored, and a page number receipt for Timothy was removed from the booklet. The lady receptionist was supposed to close at 12 noon, but called another staff to take over duty at 8 a.m., saying that she had an emergency call at Ejigbo. Her phone and Timothy's phones were tracked to Ejigbo and eventually picked up by the police. It was at her instance that all principal actors were mentioned and apprehended, including the chairman of the hotel. Their chairman, Prince Raymond Adedoke, who happens to own Oduduwa University and Ife Polytechnic, has been arrested and detained. The victim's body was exhumed and has already been taken to Ife Teaching Hospital for proper examination. Investigations are ongoing to establish more facts about the hotel and the university and Ife Polytechnic. Now, the advice here is, whenever you arrive in any hotel, make sure you make a call at the reception lobby so that they will know you are informing your family member or friends or colleagues about the hotel you are lodging in, the name and the address. Also study the mood of the receptionist and other hotel workers around you. Make sure you obtain a receipt and immediately snap or scan the receipt and send to family members or colleagues or friends to show that you paid for a room and you are lodging there. If you are making a transfer payment, kindly generate a payment receipt, scan same to your family, to your office or friends. In the room, kindly check around the room very well before lying down. The doors, the windows, mattresses, and under the bed, wardrobes, drawers, if any, the toilet, the bathroom, the AC, just to be sure nothing is hidden inside the room. As you sleep, always make calls or contact close family friends or family members and let them know that you are there till the next morning. When leaving the hotel, inform your family members, friends or colleagues that you are about to check out and study your surroundings when checking out. Always call immediately you find yourself in an unfriendly situation in a hotel where you are lodged for security assistance. I agree with most of those tips. There was a certain point in my life where I found myself working for an organization where I needed to be on the road frequently. In fact, my schedule at the time was what I refer to as 2 weeks out, 2 weeks in. That's 2 weeks away from my place of domicile and 2 weeks back. And this went on for a while. So I have had cause to stay in a large number of hotels, in plenty of hotels. Small hotels, big hotels. And you know what? I always thought hotels were the safest place you could be. Outside, for my part, forgive my naivety, but I always thought that hotels were even safer than one's residential abode. Because I know any number of people who have been attacked by armed robbers, who have had burglars visit them and things like that. But such stories are ordinarily rather rare with hotels. So I can assure you that when I had that lifestyle, I was not taking any extra measures. Oh, my personal effects, yes, if I had a bit of cash, if I was going out, I'd take my cash with me, to avoid coming back to hear stories later, because most hotels will leave, a message in the room that they will not be held responsible for any of your valuables that go missing if you don't submit same to them for safekeeping and so on. So to that extent, yes, my personal effects, cash, and things like that. But I certainly wasn't the kind of person who would check into a hotel and then start snapping receipts. And first of all of those things were handled by the office anyway, so I didn't have to pay for anything except my food. For me, I saw hotels as a nice environment to, finish work and really relax. You're not thinking about chores, you finish, somebody's cleaning the room, the bathroom, tidying up and all that. But my perception of hotels has changed significantly. You see, before I got the inner details of what happened to this person, when I first heard the story, I concluded, okay, maybe the guy lodged in and at some point there was some misadventure and he died, and the hotel didn't want to deal with the drama of maybe they couldn't contact his relations or they had no way of reaching out to anybody, so they chose to quickly discard the body quietly and go about. That was what went through my mind, because at the time I was only seeing headlines. I had not read the body of the story. Why did I think that? It happened so. It happens. When we have a piece of property here in Abuja that we've been at a loss what to do with. We're not lucky with tenants where it comes to that property. So we were thinking along the lines of, okay, let's turn it into a guest house. Just a 3-bedroom space, very exclusive, in a quiet part of town, where people just come to stay away from the madness and everything. So I started doing my groundwork. I started doing some research. And every now and then you'll stumble upon, a piece of information in the papers or online that somebody died at a hotel, but you don't really think about it. And sometimes you're naive enough to think that it's only those instances that come into the news that actually happened. When I started, making my inquiries, the number of people that die in hotels is substantial. And usually with nothing to do with the hotel. People check in, have a bad turn at night and die. Some people bring visitors in who come and do them in, and so on. It is not rare. It's rather commonplace. And the person who was advising me asked me that you need to understand that this thing happens with more frequency than you see in the news. So it's something you need to be prepared for. But in this case, it has been established, foul play has been established. So the owner of the hotel is being described as chairman, and of course he has other concerns as well. He's also in the education sector. He has a university, a polytechnic, the hotel. He's Prince Raymond Adedoyin. May likely get life imprisonment if he is found guilty for the murder of Timothy Adegoke. For my part, I think the man who checked in, the victim, he did what he could do. Of course, I don't know why he decided to pay money into the receptionist's account. With many of these small hotels, when I say small hotels, I mean hotels that are not of international standard, like the Sheraton or Hilton and so on. With many of these some of these other hotels, sometimes if you're really broke, you can strike a deal with the workers there. So I'm wondering if that's what happened. I'm not suggesting that he was broke, but sometimes you want to save a bit of money. You talk to the receptionist, you reach an agreement, you will not be staying long, so if something that can be done for you. So they find a way to bypass the regular ledger and accounting work and, arrange something for you quietly so that it doesn't even reflect in the books that you've been there, and so on and so forth. Could that have been what happened, or was the receptionist just being clever? Gave him the impression that he was actually paying the hotel when in fact he was paying the money into her private account. Who knows? So apart from that gap, I think he did every other thing right. It's not one dingy small hotel in one quiet corner. Plus his wife knew exactly where to locate him. She knew his habits and things like that. There are men who wake up and disappear from their matrimonial homes for weeks. and refuse to be in touch with their family. You know, your wife just has a vague idea of where you said you are. You cannot be reached on the phone. In some instances, some men do it as a punitive thing. They want to show their wife. I don't know. Times have changed. Security is a major issue in Nigeria. Whoever you are, you must have at least one person that you confide your exact whereabouts to, and you touch base with that person with some degree of frequency. If you are going out, your family should know exactly where you are going to and when you will be back, so that within an hour of not seeing you, they will try to reach you. If they cannot reach you, and they keep trying and cannot reach you, it's safe to assume that you have come to some harm. And they can quickly involve the authorities so that you can be found. Because the earlier you are located, the higher the chances of finding you alive. So people who like to be sneaky now, you know, you are going to Sokoto and you lie that you're actually going to Lagos, to the people that are closest to you. This is not the right time. Oh. The time for such games is not now. Because you'll come to misfortune and nobody will know how to even start looking for you. At least be honest about where you are going, even if you don't want to say what you will be doing there. Just say where you are going and when you will be back. There is evil in the land.